I hope you all are enjoying this series. If you have not yet watched the previous parts in this series, then I suggest that you watch them before you can watch this part. Thank you.
So, I was looking through your bio, and I like you formulate your own medicines, right? Like you manufacture and formulate them. Besides that, I read about the herbs that you are cultivating in the farm, uh, which includes like collection of lotus and lily varieties, and a lot of other things like ongoing work in animal like ethical breeding and natural agricultural farming methods to cultivate crude herbs for medicine manufacturing. So, like, can you share what this is all about? How, like, where you formulate the medicines, where you're cultivating the herbs, and what kind of animals are you working with, and are they on the farm? If you can just give a short, brief.
Okay. Now see, when we want to treat the patients, then medicine is of the utmost important aspect,
Hmm.
and we should be uh, very much confident about the quality and results of the medicines.
Hmm.
So for that, you need to rely on either the pharmacies or you can make your own medication. So since last 4 generations, we have a practice in our family that we prepare maximum of medicines at our end. Now my father, my uncle, they both were Ayurvedic practitioners. Now after my father, I am practicing. My after my uncle, his son, my cousin brother is practicing in Pune. So we have our own setups where we manufacture our own medication. Now, next crucial part comes is about the raw material, which is going to be used in the medication. That quality of the raw material is also of the utmost importance. So we try to see that whatever medicines we make, whatever crude material we need, if we can cultivate it in our own farms, in our own private farms, then we can be assured of the quality of the raw material as well as the medicine which we make at our end. We will be confident about the efficacy of the medicine as well. So regarding, or rather in that aspect, we have our own farms, and there we cultivate various kind of herbs. We never cut our farmlands, the shrubs, the grass which grows. If you come to our farm, you will feel like you're standing in a jungle, because we generally don't keep everything cut and clean, because there are natural herbs growing season to season and we can pluck them easily. We don't even need to seed and breed and cultivate the herbs.
Okay,
And
it's like a
that is
natural
very,
ecosystem, even the insects and all.
yeah, correct. So the plants will grow on their own. Few plants which don't grow over here, but we need them. Then we cultivate them, and from there we try to collect maximum herbs. Now there are too many herbs. Everything we cannot cultivate, but then yes, now in so many years, now we have contacts all over India where whatever herb is growing over any particular region, we can tell those farmers or tell those suppliers to give us the quality material, and then we can process whichever herbs we are not able to make at our own end, then we can purchase them, but at least we can see that the quality is best, because that is what is going to matter when the medicine is ready and the patients are going to consume. So on those lines, these activities we always keep on doing. Along with this, it helps us to be in the nature, to study the herbs which are growing surrounding us. So it's our basically study also, that new herbs we keep on trying to use in our practice. And before that, to study those medicines, to study the angles, different angles all over the nation, all over the globe, wherever we can get the information, and if we can pass it through the basic Ayurvedic fundamentals and see if that is actually really going to help. Once that is there, then only we can start using it. Otherwise, there are many times things happen that yes, we find herbs which are somewhere someone says is used, but we generally end up not taking them also because we don't find a confined data, and we don't find it is fitting somewhere in the Ayurvedic basic fundamentals also. So then we have to skip those things. But that's a routine, that's a process, and process of learning rather for us, along with the quality medicine preparation. That is one thing. About the lotus and lilies and all, right now I must be having somewhere around 20-22 varieties of lotus and lilies. And out of that also we prepare some medicines on seasonal basis to use. And that's my hobby also, that I treat animals, I treat herbs, I treat plants, I treat birds, fishes along with the humans. That is my hobby. So while doing this cultivation and all, yes, we come across many varieties of many plants. So I came across few South Indian friends uh, from Kerala and all who are into that field. So I brought somewhere around 30-35 varieties of lilies and lotuses, and I am trying to cultivate and harvest them. So let's see how it goes. It's like 2 years now we am doing it and going smooth. So till now I have around 20-22 varieties of it, and it's fun altogether to see so many colors of lotus and lilies. So this year was the first year at Ganpati festival at my place. My Ganesh ji, actually I was able to bring the lotus flowers from the farm and give it to him also. So that's altogether a different joy
Yeah,
for
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
So whatever you use in your practice, you give it to your God. It's like
Yeah.
that.
Ha, ha,
It's
ha.
simple, but it's a joyful thing for me at least. That's
Ha.
how we try to work on our end, and so that the quality of the medicine is not hampered anywhere.
Hmm. And what about the
Now,
ethical
about
breeding part? Does it happen there itself? Like, are you into?
see, yeah, I am into since my childhood. Rather, I am into these kind of breeding activities as a fun. It started as a hobby with the fishes. So when I was in higher or secondary schools and then college time, before going to medical, I was into breeding of various kind of fishes for aquariums, so which you see like goldfish or various kinds of guppy fishes. I was into that as a hobby. So I started it from one tank. I was having multiple tanks at my house when I was a child, and then it went on. But later on, along with that, many things I got connected with. So I was into lovebird breeding also. I was into dog breeding. I am into dog breeding now also. But my aspect to it is not just about breeding and taking out the puppies and selling into the market on a routine basis just to run my house. That's not my business. I am more keen towards studying the processes of various species, how they breed naturally, what are their problems, and how I can tackle them with the help of Ayurveda. Whatever knowledge we have, along with that knowledge or with the help of that knowledge, what kind of help we can provide. So I have worked on wheat sattva, which is generally given to the puppies and the mother in the weaning stage, where the puppies are actually uh, growing on the mother's milk in first 60 days, 45 to 60 days. That time, wheat sattva I have used practically in various breeds, starting from pug, beagle, then labs and alsatians and rottweilers, great danes, Saint Bernard even. So that's the period when generally puppies are growing very fast. And in the market, what happens is the buyers also don't know when to buy a puppy. So they buy puppies at very early stage because they want a spongy kind of a puppy, a fluffy kind of a puppy. But when the puppy becomes around 45-50 days or 60 days, the fluffiness, the cuteness starts shading away. But till that time, the puppy needs mother's milk. And along with mother's milk, he needs the extra nourishment if you can provide. That is one angle. But in the market, practice is that many times the puppies end up coming to the market at their age of almost 28-30 days only, where they don't even get their mother's milk for very long time. And
Hmm.
along with that, many kind of supplements are fed to the puppies so that they can look fluffy.
Hmm.
Later the stage when the puppies end up going to the new house, that entire nourishment which was given, which was not carry forward ahead, the puppies suffer a lot. And one of them is hind leg paraplegia or something like that. So these kind of problems I have seen in that field also. So depending on that subject, or with reference to that subject, when I was thinking, I came up with some formulations which I combined with wheat sattva, and I use them in the puppies in that particular stage, and I can see very good results, and that is very cost effective also.
So is it
Last
like
year
a replacement for the mother's milk, or is it an addition, like when while weaning you use it like that?
it's an additional thing which we provide to the puppies. And I had presented a paper in World Ayurvedic Congress last year on the same topic over there in veterinarian paper presentation section. So it is an additional supplement. If you want to give supplements from the market, then that will be very costly. And this is like very, compared to that, this is like very cheap in the
Hmm.
cost,
Okay.
and can be prepared at home also. So again, natural, homemade, and highly nourishing, because bones need the nourishment in extra quantity in that particular phase. And wheat sattva, as per Ayurveda, is actually the natural direct source for bones and other organs and systems as well to grow very fast. So
Okay.
that's how we keep on working on various and different topics when they come in front of us. As a hobby, I started it, and it later on came to this level at least. Now in future what happens, I also don't know. It's better to wait and watch and see what comes next.
Hmm. So similarly, do you, I just out of curiosity, because there are a lot of pet parents these days and they might be watching this video. So just like for dogs, do you also work with cats? I mean,
Yeah,
have you
sometimes I
worked
work with
with?
cats. I have worked with cats, I have worked with dogs, I have worked with kettle, I have worked with goats, I have worked with aquarium fishes like goldfish and all. Then I used to breed various kinds of exotic guppies. So I, at one point 5 years back, I was actually having 15 different species of exotic guppies at my farm. So I was trying to grow them with different natural feeds which I was having, and I was having very good results. So it is not like I have worked with these things. It is like Ayurveda is for every living being, and yes, it can be done through or with the help of Ayurveda for any kind of living being, whether it's a pet animal or a bird or whatever is there. It doesn't matter actually.
I think this will be very eye-opening because people are not aware that you can approach a Vaidya, or you can actually make use of Ayurvedic medicines for pets like cats and dogs also. This
Yeah,
is very interesting, and if it is natural, it's always better than what you get like I mean than the drugs, because especially for puppies which are so young and
it's like,
uh,
see,
yeah.
the knowledge about these things has
Hmm.
really lost too much. And because of that, people are not aware, because they don't see such options in routine. They don't see a Vaidya treating an animal. They
They
don't
don't,
see a
yeah.
homeopath. So if you know about, or if you have that information, or someone gives you the information, then you can get that access. So we have given medicine to cats for cancer, for dogs cancer for in dogs. That too we generally keep on doing when patients come to us. We don't go in market and tell about that. Yes, we do that, we do that, we do that. If patients come and they are comfortable with what I am telling them, and if I feel that yes, they can follow those things, then I can advise them. I can prescribe them some medicines if required. Otherwise, many times it happens that same like humans, in animals also, the parents, the pet parents come to us at very last age. So many a times we end up telling, okay, no, I guess there is no time left, so it's better not to do anything. Whatever you do, you can do. And along with that, I can tell you these things, and you can just follow and let me know after a month's time if the pet is there or not. That kind of a thing only happens 70% or 80% of the time. That is a bad thing, that we are in not position to help them at the early stages.
Why
But
do you
yes, definitely.
think this is happening even in case of humans? Why are they coming? Why are they going for Ayurveda at the very last stage? Because I think this is because there's a lot of notion that you cannot, first of all, go for Ayurveda as a curable form of treatment. I think that is the sort of notion people have, especially in major diseases like cancer, etc. Maybe they think it'll always be an alternative or a supplemental therapeutic option. But also there is this negative mindset as well, which people hold with respect to this science. And it's not as much, a lot of concepts about it are not as much there in the mainstream. Like, for instance, this animal thing itself, I did not know that. So why is Ayurveda not, has not come into the mainstream as much? Or like,
See,
what is, yeah.
there are multiple, sorry, there are multiple angles to this question, and we have to understand all that. I would rather say this is a total lack of knowledge, and secondly, spreading of wrong knowledge. Both the things go parallelly, because you can't just believe on what you hear, but you tend to pass on the things very easily which you hear. In your own case, if you see something happening, you will start believing. But if you want to pass on the information, you might not go into deep to evaluate whatever you have heard is real or not. Say, best example is all those WhatsApp messages about health and whatnot get forwarded every day. So I know people who wake up in the morning, they just broadcast a message of good morning in the morning, good night at night, and in the afternoon or the daytime, whatever messages come, they download and they don't even try to read it, they just forward it. So authenticity of a message which I have got from any media, whether it's an online media or an offline media, heard from a friend, whatever, if I want to pass it on, then I first need to evaluate whether it's an information I should really pass or not. Then only this should happen, but that doesn't happen. Anything which is bad about something gets passed on very easily. So somewhere something happens and that thing spreads like air, or rather fire. But something good happens at some end, that will not get that much exposure, and this is a general normal tendency nowadays. So it's just lack of pure knowledge about what is the capacity of Ayurveda to work on the common population, as well as the Ayurvedic community itself is not aware of what potential their subject of Ayurveda holds in their or gives in their hands. No other pathy in the world allows a Vaidya to go into jungle to pluck something or to cultivate something in his own house or farm and pluck it and make a medicine and to give it to his patient. He is not allowed to make a medicine and just go into the market or over the counter sale. For that, he needs pharmacy. But only Ayurvedic doctors are allowed to make their own medicines and to use it in their own patients. Legally, they are allowed. This is a huge potential given to an Ayurvedic doctor, by which he can actually utilize his knowledge at its core, at its full. But people are not aware of that. It's like giving a sword in the monkey's hand and wait and watch the show. What happens
What has
next is
caused this decline of this science, and given is uh, and only modern science is there in the mainstream. So
see, mainstream. When we say mainstream, there are two angles to it. One, Ayurvedic fraternity also should be confident to face these kind of positions, equations, situations, to handle them with that much confidence. One. Second, modern science also should be open about discussing the issues or the problems or the questions they are having with the Ayurvedic doctors. Without discussing them with the Ayurvedic fraternity, if any other pathy or expert of any other pathy is going to end up making their own opinions about it, then I'm not there to help them out, because they are not in the need to get the help from me. And they are not into that mentality also. So the mentality should get open. We should understand what is my capability and at what extent I can utilize it. And same way from opposite side also, it should be an open dialogue, where the things can get discussed. When you say mainstream, that means the mainstream means the leading stream.
Mm.
When you say leading stream, leading is something connected to only two things. One is power, and second is money. And when the game of power and money comes, ethics are kept in the box. That is a routine thing happening globally, not only in the field of medicine, it is happening globally. That should not happen because it's a matter of health of a living being.
Mm.
That living being can be a human or can be a pet or can be an animal roaming around on the road, but that ethic should be there in the practice, not only making some schemes or something like that on papers. They should end up reaching the actual population, which is the problem of our country, that we have too many good things, too many good schemes made by any ruling government came in last 70 80 years. Not a single government is there which I can say has not made any good scheme. Yes, they always make good schemes, but the problem of our nation, our country, is that percolation of that excellent thing or better thing or a good thing, percolation towards the end user, the normal population, the man, common man walking on a road, is so much difficult that people have stopped expecting anything from government. This is a routine, but people also should understand, the people sitting over there in the system at state level or at central level have gone through the common platform only. They are also common people. So they will work according to their exposure. So if Ayurvedic fraternity needs to grow, then Ayurvedic community, the people from Ayurvedic community, if they feel that they need to see some change in the system, they should enter the system with that aspect. They should work on it and they should try to change that thing. Then only the spreading can happen. And this is what is happening in last couple of years, that the central government is very pro about Ayurveda, and that is resulting very good at the central government level. They are working too hard to get that those golden days to the Indian medical system. I'm talking about Ayurveda, but I strongly feel that Ayurveda is nothing but Indian medical system, Indian medical science. It's a science with its own basic fundamentals, and which can be applied or which should be applied with its own basic fundamentals only. Upgradations and other things, that's a different and next level work that will
Mm.
come definitely as per the requirement.
Mm. It's that is, you are talking from the perspective of what the Ayurvedic fraternity can do. But I also see that in the common public, now there is like a lot of superfoods and all are coming into the market. And the people who had certain reservations about Ayurvedic medicines, they are open to these things which are labeled as superfoods, which are actually nothing but the same herbs. Like you see moringa and ashwagandha and everything, which are going around in the market as superfoods. But the same thing, if years back some Ayurvedic brand was selling it or something, they would not be that open to it. So is the mindset, like what is the mind, like this mindset is, why is it there, and like can it, do you see it changing? So
See, few changes are definitely there, but which are positive, but many other changes are not that much greatly positive as per me at least. Whatever things you are saying, the terms which you are using as superfood or something like that, previously, few years back, it was something nutraceuticals. Then before
no,
that,
the
it was
brands, they use these words to
these words.
sell
That's what I'm
products
saying.
which are which have roots in Ayurveda, that way.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, these words are made and they are then used in the common platform so that the people will get adapted to the words which are used, not the actual thing. See, turmeric is there in every household, but still people end up going and buying curcumin tablet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ha.
Moringa, when you say you don't know what is moringa, many times
Drumstick shenga, na? Ha.
drumstick. So you eat drumsticks, but this is about not drumstick pods now. This is about drumstick leaves.
Leaves,
So
leaves, you.
many people used to make vegetables. Nowadays also many people make
We make.
vegetable,
In our cuisine, we make.
and that is consumed in that way only. But when there is a thing called market means raising money through the business. So you need to label the old wine with a new label. There is a famous saying about that, नई बोतल में पुरानी दारू अच्छी बिकती है, ज्यादा भाव में बिकती है. दारू वही है पुरानी, बट नई बोतल है, नया ब्रांड है. एक विस्की है, 10 ब्रांड है. उस तरीके से those things are marketed, and people very easily fall to that, because people don't know one fact, that if you do or follow these things, then you need to understand about how to take, when to take, how much to take, who cannot take it, who can take it more. These are not the details
These
provided
details are not there.
provided to the customer, as well as customer also don't search about it. They don't at all. And whatever you see, 80% of the products from herbal industry, any product you take in your hand, the general labeling is product is called herbal, marketing is done with the help of name of Ayurveda. The herb which is used in Ayurveda, herbs which is used in Ayurveda. So they promote the herb with the name of Ayurveda, but they label and pass the product in the FDA or FSI in the name of herbs. Because when you label it as herb, you can label it as a food. When you can label it as a food, you can get the doors open of the industry which is called food industry, which is of billions of dollars. And without going in the path of modern medicine, you can create your own path. You can make a very good business out of it.
But there are some brands which refrain from using the Ayurveda term to appeal to the crowd, which is not very open to this Ayurveda term.
Yeah, that's
They will
fine.
call
That's
it
another different.
superfood and
But the thing is, the word Ayurveda or Ayurved, as per me, it is used there where it can, the product can get sold on that name. And where the word Ayurveda is banned or not in the fancy category of the customer, there it will be kept aside. But the thing is, knowledge will be taken from one pathy, will be used in other systems, and the business will be made. It is just about that. Secondly, old things in new fashion always attracts people. This is what I already mentioned. Thirdly, the point of colonialization, the history of India, the mindset of people, it is tuned so well that people don't think about not being independent more than 200 years. For Indian population, if we see, it is only about the British era, which is of hardly 150 to 200 years. People can't remember of previous years where what things happened, and because of what the actual knowledge got vanished away. Not reduced only, I will say it actually got vanished away. Okay. So if I see into that history also, the actual non-independent time is not less than 1200 years. So we are losing the knowledge since then
with the
because of
mobiles and everything. Like,
many reasons. With whom we were fighting, that's a different story. The point is, we were only busy in fighting and surviving. Okay. And in that, when it comes to survival, it comes to only survival. So you first survive, then other things you can you can help to survive. In that, many knowledge systems of India, not only Ayurveda, many knowledge systems of India got very weakened, and the knowledge system also drastically reduced in the population. In the colonialization time, British government was also very much keen to kill the Indian knowledge systems and to implement their own knowledge systems, their own pathies, and that is also the major impact because of which the entire setup of India's medical science got totally shaken up, and it got lost the connect with the population. And
that is why there is resistance.
yeah, and because of that, the entire lack of knowledge is coming for so many generations. See, nowadays what happens is, and before 20-25 years, what was happening? That a child, when is born, he or she, that baby, we used to massage every day, then put a kajal in eyes. That was a routine practice. Now, people before the delivery ask us whether we should do massage or not. Our pediatrician has told us not to do the massage. Whether we should oil in our ear or not, whether we should put something in our eyes or not. These kind of questions are asked now. That is because of lack of knowledge, and we have lost the connect with the traditional systems which were set for us. Okay, so the groundwork is on this level only. If this groundwork is done, then again that confidence will be there in the population to use these things. And actually what happens with that is beneficial is what we can see when we practice it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we are going to trust it. So I am not saying a pediatrician is wrong and I am right. I am saying what was done earlier was done with an definite goal in mind. And to do that, these processes were there in the system. If the modern science or any other pathy has questions about it, then those questions can be discussed out anytime. So if they gain the knowledge, if they are satisfied, they can accept it. If they are not satisfied, they are already walking on their own path. We are walking on our own path. It is not that the railway has to run on one track only. The track also has two sides.
We are now actually open to the idea of researching more on this, but the only thing is that even the research they do is from their perspective.
Yeah, correct.
Researching on certain herbs and trying to
See,
explore natural ways of, but the
I'll
research
tell
is
you one
always
thing.
from their methodology. Yeah,
I'll
methodology.
tell you, I'll give an example. Like, I want to travel from Mumbai to Pune. Okay. Now I have multiple options. I can go by car, I can go walking, I can go by train, I can go by flight. Okay. Ultimately, I'm leaving Mumbai, I'm going to Pune. The path I can select. But that doesn't mean that if I'm traveling through plane, then the train and road is bad. Everyone cannot afford plane. If there is an emergency, you can fly by plane. But if there is no emergency, then you can go by your own car on the road, or you can take a ticket and travel by train. That doesn't mean that anyone is superior or anyone is not superior. The tracks, the paths are already there. You need to choose it. So research methodology also, there are multiple ways to do the research methodology. Modern science has developed their own methodology. Ayurvedic texts have their own methodology of research and development. Okay. Now, if they can get fused, fine. If they cannot get fused, still it's fine. No problem with
Still,
that.
they will reach the same place eventually.
You need to reach the same goal. If you can, better. If you cannot, then keep researching. Any path you can select and you can just keep walking on it. No one is into denial that you don't need research and all. But yes, I will say definitely one thing, that many times Ayurveda is blamed as उसमें research होना जरूरी है, उसमें research होना जरूरी है. तो
हाँ.
मतलब the point they are emphasizing on कि whatever you guys are trying to tell us, this is insufficient. That is, I am very strongly in opposition to. Without understanding what we are trying to tell you, if you are going to conclude that we are giving you insufficient knowledge, then we are not at the wrong end, you are at the wrong end.
Yeah, because it's insufficient only from their perspective and their ways of coming to conclusion of things.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you need to understand, if I need to understand modern medicines, any subject of modern medicine, then I need to study it through the modern medicine technology, the terminology.
Terminology, yeah, right.
So if I have to understand the subject of Ayurveda, then I need to understand the subject of Ayurveda with its own terminology, which Ayurveda has. Ayurveda specifically has everything, the terminology, the science, the basic fundament, everything is there. So you need to first understand it, then you can do whatever you want next. But before understanding, if you just keep blaming, I can ignore it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, then I'll leave listening to you only.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
happening everywhere. Everyone is trying to emphasize their own opinions on others.
They have to be receptive also. Yeah.
Everyone has to be receptive, not only them. We also should be receptive. Any other one also should be receptive when there is a topic of development. Then that development can be of Ayurveda or any other subject. It's about development.
It's usually from the point of view of proving something is wrong instead of finding out the truth. I think that is what,
I
instead
can't
of,
go into that thing. Again,
yeah,
I'll be putting up my words over here or my opinion over here because that has many angles to it. So I'll better not answer that thing.
that's okay. ठीक है. So I also saw that something very interesting in your bio, and like there are everything is interesting, but therapeutic chocolates, like why? I mean, from where? Like I don't. Can you explain a bit more about that thing?
Uh,
Therapeutic
see,
chocolates.
when we
Is
treat
it
a
for kids
patient,
or? Huh.
it's
Okay.
everyone. Basically, it's the concept behind that is when we treat a patient, we treat the patient not only with the medicine, we need to give them the diet, we need to correct their lifestyle, we need to instruct them at every level. So, there, if I tell them that you need to eat few things, and they are not very fond of that, but they are actually required for the patient to consume to get better, then there should be a way out. Then the way out can be any way. About therapeutic chocolates, the same idea was there behind that. So it is about chocolate itself has medicinal properties first. Those medicinal properties, along with few other herbal herbs and other products, if they can go hand in hand without touching the taste part of it as much as possible, then on that line I started thinking about, and now I am getting ready with two combinations. One is for uh, females who suffer a lot in PMS and that phase every month, where they crave for many things, and physically and mentally they are in some kind of medical requirement. So there, if I provide them few tablets to eat, and if I parallelly provide them some chocolate to eat, it will be easy for the person also to adapt to those things. Okay, so that's the basic concept. So chocolates, which will be dark chocolates, along with the different herbs, this is what I'm working on, and two formulations we have made. One is for the females, and second is for stress management. The others are in developmental stages, they will take a longer time. That's kind of a thing we generally keep on doing.
So thanks a lot for this. I think we've covered this so extensively. I don't think that like itna extensively kabhi cover hua rahega in this manner, especially. And there's a lot more to be talked about. Maybe we will do it in the subsequent parts, like the role of Ayurveda in different, like army level and this and that. Like everyone has a medical department. Like lots of other topics around Ayurveda that we can explore and discover, so that people get to know about this science, which has originated in this land. So thanks a lot for your time. Yeah.
Yes, surely we'll do it. I would love to do that. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk about these subjects openly, and to put try to put a different view. I have tried, and I hope the viewers will like this, and they will, more than liking, they will get many answers to their many questions,
Yeah.
which I think is more important. So thank you once again, and in future, tell me whenever you want. We'll do it. No
Okay,
problem.
okay. ठीक है,
Yeah.
ठीक है. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
So we've come to the end of the first series on clear conversations, which was called as a spotlight on Ayurveda. I hope that you've gained a lot of insights from this series by watching the different parts. If you have any questions for Vaidya Satyavrat Nanal or for the channel, you may leave a comment below any of our videos or write to us on clearconversations23@gmail.com. If there are too many questions, we'll consider doing a Q&A session. Do follow us on Instagram and subscribe to us on YouTube. That's the best way of supporting this initiative. And also do look forward to the next series, which will come up in a couple of weeks. Thank you.